In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use Tinkercad 3D design step by step, so you can start creating your own models with confidence, even if you've never used it before. Tinkercad is one of the easiest beginner-friendly 3D design tools available, and by the end of this tutorial, you'll know how to add shapes, move them around, resize, rotate, cut holes, group objects, align parts, use the most helpful shortcuts, and finally, export your design for 3D printing or further editing. If this video helps you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more simple tutorials just like this. Let's jump in. First, once you're inside Tinkercad, you'll want to start a new 3D design project. The main workspace is very simple. In the center, you have the blue Workplane, which is basically your design area. On the right side, you'll see the Basic Shapes panel, and that's where most of your building starts. To add a shape, just drag any basic shape from that panel onto the blue Workplane. You can begin with something simple like a box or a cylinder, and once it drops onto the workspace, you're ready to edit it. Now let's talk about moving your shapes. When you click a shape, you can drag it flat across the Workplane to reposition it. If you want to move it up or down in 3D space, look for the black cone handle on top. That handle controls the Z-axis, which means it raises or lowers your object. This is especially useful when you want to stack objects, create layered designs, or prepare something for accurate alignment later. Next is resizing. When a shape is selected, you'll see white squares around the edges and corners. These are the resize handles. Drag them to make the shape bigger or smaller. If you want to keep the proportions perfect while resizing, hold Shift as you drag. That helps you avoid accidentally stretching the object into a weird shape. If you need precise sizing, this is where the ruler tool becomes very useful, and I'll show you that in just a moment. After that, you'll want to rotate your objects. Once a shape is selected, curved arrows appear around it. Click and drag those arrows to spin the shape in the direction you want. Rotation is helpful when designing parts that need to face a certain way, or when you want to create more advanced layouts and patterns. Take your time here, because small rotation changes can make a big difference in how the final design looks. Now let's move on to one of the most powerful features in Tinkercad: holes. A hole is not a solid object. Instead, it acts like a cutter. To create one, select a shape and then click Hole in the inspector area at the top right. Once a shape is turned into a hole, it can be used to carve out another solid shape. This is how you make openings, cutouts, slots, and detailed shapes. For example, if you want a box with a circular hole through it, place a solid box, place a cylinder set to hole on top of it, and position it where you want the cutout to appear. Once your solid shape and hole shape are both in place, the next step is grouping. Select both objects together, then press Ctrl+G. When you group them, Tinkercad combines the solid with the hole and removes the area where the hole overlaps the solid. This is one of the most important techniques in Tinkercad 3D design because it lets you build real custom shapes instead of only using basic blocks. Another key tool is Align. If you have multiple objects and you want them lined up perfectly, select them and press L. You'll see black dots appear around the selection. These dots help you center or align objects exactly where you want them. This is incredibly useful for making clean, professional-looking designs. If you've ever struggled with objects looking slightly off-center, the Align tool will save you a lot of time. Now let's go through the essential shortcuts that make Tinkercad much faster to use. First is W for Workplane. This lets you click on any surface and stick your floor to it. That means you can design directly on top of another object instead of only on the flat blue base. It's a very handy trick when building on curved or raised surfaces. Next is R for Ruler. When you drop the ruler into your workspace, you can type exact dimensions instead of guessing by dragging. This is perfect when you need your design to be precise, especially for engineering, 3D printing, or classroom projects. Then there's D for Drop. If an object is floating above the Workplane, press D and it instantly snaps down to the surface. That makes it easy to clean up your scene and keep everything properly positioned. Another very useful shortcut is F for Focus. If you want to zoom in perfectly on your selected object, press F. This helps you work on detailed parts of your design without constantly adjusting the camera by hand. And finally, Ctrl+D for Duplicate. This makes a copy of your selected object, but it also remembers your next move. That means if you keep pressing it, you can quickly create repeated patterns, rows, or evenly spaced copies. It's one of the best shortcuts for speed and consistency. As you build more and more in Tinkercad, these shortcuts become second nature, and they can completely change how fast you work. Instead of dragging and adjusting everything manually, you can build cleaner designs in far less time. So if you're following along, I recommend trying each shortcut as you go, because the best way to learn Tinkercad is by actually practicing inside the workspace. Once your project is finished, you'll want to export it. To do that, click Export in the top right corner. From there, you can choose formats like STL or OBJ. These are the most common file types for 3D printing and other design workflows. If you're planning to print your model, STL is usually the best option. If you want to take your design into another program, OBJ can also be useful depending on your project. Tinkercad also gives you a Send To option, which lets you send your design to Fusion 360 for more advanced editing, or share a picture of your model.
This is great if you want to keep improving your design beyond the beginner level or collaborate with someone else. And that's the full beginner walkthrough of how to use Tinkercad 3D Design. You now know how to add shapes, move and lift them, resize and rotate them, create holes, group objects, align parts, use the most important shortcuts, and export your final project. If this tutorial helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more easy step-by-step software guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.